Hey guys, it's Matt with Test for Truckers over here, and I was just topping off my coolant. And noticed while I was inspecting the coolant system, since I was topping it off, I was using some, that, man, these pack car engines are really over-engineered. Now, I had a pack car in my last truck, had a bunch of problems with it, but it looks like this one's even more complicated than the last one, this new generation. And I just wanted to point one thing out for you guys about it. Now, if you ever want to inspect your coolant system, you look for where your tube is coming out of your radiator. And it's coming out of the top, obviously. But see, the top hose on your radiator, that's the hot side. That's where the water is traveling up through the hot engine into the radiator. And it is, as it cools, it drops down through the radiator. So it's not only used in the force from the water pump, but it's also used in the heat from the engine for thermosiphoning. What does thermosiphoning mean? I'll teach you real quick. So when liquid heats up, it rises. So when the path of the coolant, they have the fan blades turbine in the water pump angled in such a way so it draws the coolant from the bottom of the engine up to the top, and then when it goes from the radiator, it always feeds into the top of the radiator and drips down. That's because it cools while it's in the radiator. So that your coolant will actually cycle a little bit without the pump, but the pump assists, obviously, a big part. Actually, a quick history lesson. I won't go too far into it, but the first Henry Ford's first engine did not have a radiator or a water pump. Just the seat was a copper tub, and as that cooled, then the cool water was at the bottom of the tub, recirculated through the engine. Just a cool fun fact for you guys. Anyway, so I was locating where the water pump is. As you can see, this is the hose that goes into the top of the radiator. So this is the hot hose. And one component that it has that I don't think is necessarily necessary is it has a coolant filter. Now, I've never seen that in an engine before. Not the worst idea, not the best idea. It has a bleeder screw here to get the air out of the system, which I think is pretty nice. A bleeder screw is nice, but I don't necessarily think you need a filter for your coolant. If you're getting foreign objects in your coolant, you got other problems with your truck. But anyway, that's one thing to make this extremely complicated. Next thing is this water pump. Now it's just like a normal water pump, but I was looking at it, and you see these fins over here on the pulley. That means that it is a thermo clutch. Now, thermo clutch means when it gets hot, that clutch will start grabbing and it'll start spinning. Other than that, the pulley's just spinning freely with the belt. Much like, well, exactly how your fan clutch works. And your fan clutch, like I said, when your engine gets to a certain temperature, it'll start grabbing and it'll start spinning your fan. And it obviously also has electrical override. So, why am I making that a big deal, that the water pump has a thermal clutch? Because that's just another component that could break. Your fan clutch, if it breaks, it's about $1,000, $1,500 fix or something like that, plus the downtime. Now, like I said, these new water pumps I know on a Detroit and apparently on these pack cars, as you can see, it has cooling fins on here to dissipate the heat from the pulley. So it'll disengage the pulley the clutch at the right temperature. But now the reason behind that is so the water pump's not spinning when the engine's cool. You get a little bit less of a parasitic draw. Now here's my problem with that. The engine is only at a cold temperature for very, very short amount of time. And so it just seems like a waste of a lot of effort, a lot of something that could break, a lot of technology that's not necessarily necessary. So the water pump's going to be spinning most of the time. So I don't think there's all that much advantage to having that thermo clutch. And another thing is right here, this is the thermostat housing. Now that is a tried and true way of regulating temperature in an engine. They've used them for internal combustion engines ever since they've made internal combustion engines. What it is, it's a little valve that opens up. It's got a spring on it, and as it gets hotter, it will open up more flow, more coolant through the system. And I know you say, Matt, well, I thought about it, and one advantage is with that clutch is that you could warm up your engine quicker. Yeah, that's actually true. Yeah, you can regulate how quickly it gets up to operating temperature. But that that between that the thermostat and the thermal fan clutch, those two components can get the engine in a real narrow operating temperature, where it can be warm enough to run efficiently, but also cool enough that it doesn't cause heat damage to the engine. So, are the thermo clutches necessary on water pumps? I don't think so. I think it's a little bit too much, but it's what we got to live with apparently. So check it out on your engine if you got it. Like I said, you'll have these coolant fins, and usually the front of the pulley will be a different color than the back of the pulley because they're two separate pulleys rubbing against each other till that clutch engages. And so yeah, check it out, guys. And let me know in the comments what you think. Are these a wise investment, a wise component to put on new engines? It's Matt with Tips for Truckers. Have a great day.